we spent five days here in Trujillo. What stands out in your mind about Trujillo?
Trujillo. The Lady of Cow, the cow temple is called Cathedrals in Spanish. That is the remarkable memory that I have in Trujillo.
Okay.
Yeah.
And anything else come to mind?
And the best vegan vegetarian foods that we have. Like last 2 days that we found, it's only 8 solid. So it's less than $3, and you have started soup, main dish, and like a juice or something or tea, you know. So there's lots. So what about you?
Yeah, definitely Lady of Cow stands out in my mind, and the vegetarian restaurant, which we'll provide links to go to the blog. Also, I would say Chan Chan, that idea that there were these 9 palaces that were built over about an 800-year period, and that I thought it was extraordinary how well preserved they were, and that how they just completely were abandoned when the Spanish came, and that and how we to go back and see the artwork and whatnot. I thought that was quite amazing. It's just extraordinary, and I've been to Machu Picchu, and I would say that northern Peru, in my mind now, stands out as more interesting than Machu Picchu, despite how beautiful Machu Picchu is and how remarkable it is. So I think that over the years, the focus is going to change on the northern Peru rather than Cusco and Machu Picchu.
You know why?
Why?
Because you can take a lot of photos in Machu Picchu and Cusco, so people know Peru about that. It's the picture is go around the world. But the thing is, in Trujillo, Chiclayo, and Cajamarca, inside the museum, they are not allowed to take a photo. So there's not much people to know about that. Like Chiclayo, we know about the lot of Sipan. You cannot bring anything like camera or phone at all to go inside to the museum. That's why.
Yeah, I agree.
So no one know about how the lot of Sipan look like.
Yeah. However, we were allowed to take pictures in Lady Cow here in Trujillo. So I think it's a big mistake by the curators of that Lord of Sipan Museum not to have pictures, because there's literally nobody going there compared to Machu Picchu. I mean, and so that's a very good point. I think it's still worth seeing. I think it's worth going to Chiclayo. I would say it was only surpassed in terms of tomb contents by Tutankhamun, which I saw in Chicago as a boy, and so I would say it's just an extraordinary place, and you don't want to miss it. So, anything weird or negative that you feel about Trujillo? Anything come to mind?
So far, no. There's nothing. And check out how is the bus we take. We try a lot of different bus company when we in Peru. As you know, the Peru is long, and most of the traveler that to save cost, they take the bus.
Yeah.
Check out this one. It's like airport. Well, show them about the bus.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, so we're on the bus now. We're in the front row, looking on the second floor of the bus, and you're not going to see anything other than a building, but you can see an idea of the view here. We're just looking out a window here out of the front of the bus, and there's a lot of leg room, and the seats are quite comfortable, and they serve food and everything. There's actually a bathroom on here, and in some ways it's better than flying because you get to see the land. You get to see Peru rather than just being in a box. So definitely feel free to take the buses. They're quite comfortable. So. Bye. So this is Dan here, Vagabond Buddha. I'm in Trujillo, Peru, and this is Plaza de Armas, which of course this is the central most park in Trujillo. Trujillo's on the coast in the northern part of Peru, north of Lima, and this monument, this is the monument to Peru, its history and freedom. And it's interesting to know this is this monument was done by a German and approved by the leaders of Peru. And a comment of a guide yesterday that was talking about this, it really struck home for me. There's three characters on this statue, this monument. The first represents slavery. You can see the man cowering, and then all the way to the right, you see slavery or being oppressed. And then to the right here, you see a man lunging forward with his fist back, and that's meant to represent a desire for freedom. And then in the center here, you see, a man with a fist rising, and that represents the striking out and, if you will, winning your freedom or independence. And at the top, this is their symbol for the liberty of Peru from Spain. And I had asked about the symbolism on the statue, and the guide said, yeah, it's all European symbolism. If you look at the clothes they're wearing, and for example, the fruits and the clothing, and the nudity is almost a classical period in Europe. And of course, it was designed by a German. And Peru has always had like a leading class, which has never been well represented by the indigenous people. They're just, originally it was colonial ruled after Spain got here, and that's kind of continued. And in their minds, Europe's always been better and more interesting than Peru. So this statue doesn't, for example, have, the people that are representing these three stages on this statue are not Peruvian, they're European. And of course, the approval of this statue to be put here in the park was done in 1921, which was at a time which is 100 years post-liberation. And still at that time, it wasn't being, the original Peruvian culture was not being honored. It's really only in the last, 30 years that they began to unearth and celebrate the clothing, the art of Peru. So it's interesting. Now, this park I'm standing in was designed in 1534, of course, by a European, and it was further developed during the Republic period, around 1820. But this statue to the left here was put up in 1920. And so, anyway, just some observations on my walking tour. So here we are again on Plaza de Armas, and this is the Cathedral of Trujillo, also known as St. Mary's Basilica, built in 1647. We'll go inside in a moment. Okay, let's go in and check out the Cathedral of Trujillo. First thing you notice is just the elaborate murals on the ceiling. This is truly impressive. This is from behind the altar. It's not usual that you can get back behind a cathedral altar like this. It's considered sacred ground. It's morning now and the light is coming in. It's just quite extraordinary. So here on Plaza de Armas, and looking across the street at this blue building, this is Uruguay Mansion, This is where Simon Bolivar stayed. As you may know, Simon Bolivar is the father of much of South America. The city fathers of Trujillo invited him to come here to help win the war against Spain in 1820, and he stayed here. This is now on display, so you can go inside. There's furnishings from the period. So this here on your right was the home of former President Orbegoso. He was the first president from the the house was built in the 1700s. He was the first president of Peru, and so he's known as the Independence President. And this it's now a museum, and on display are art, furnishings, and the house as the way it was at the time of his presidency. So Chunghoi's been wanting to eat this pre-Incan fruit. She finally found it. It looks like cactus bulb to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just got distracted from the pomegranate. It's so red color. I want to buy that, but I already buy two. Kiwi. But it's not like kiwi.
Oh, kiwi.
They have a small seed inside. I don't know how to say it. It's like a...
Delicious. Tastes like pomegranate to me. Maybe it's the color that's fooling me.
Just on the fruit, right? It looks like the cactus.
Yeah. Is that what it's from? Cactus? This is St. Augustine here. This is construction started in the 1600s. The altar is done in Baroque style, and it has murals of the apostles, and the altar is gilded wood. So this is Emancipation House. The independence of Trujillo from Spain was conceived here in 1820. Additionally, this is where the first Continental Congress was. Today it's been completely restored, and it functions as an art exhibit studio, and also the home of Banco Continental, and they have functions here from time to time, and it's thought of as where the independence movement started for Peru. This is a colonial area. Emancipation House. This is where they the Trujillans decided to leave Spain, and now it's an art gallery and a bank, but that's what happened here historically. Chunghoi's over there enjoying the art. This is the courtyard of the house where they signed their version of the Declaration of Independence. At that time, Trujillo was its own country. It wasn't like all of Peru that signed it. Trujillo was one of the first that they even brought over Simon Bolivar to help them fight Spain. So this is Iturugi Palace. It's one of the most beautiful mansions in all of South America. It's also a social club now. And it doesn't matter how wealthy or connected you are, you're not going to be able to join this club if you're an original Peruvian. This is reserved for well-connected colonists and their progeny, and so it's a bit of a holdover from the caste system that the Spanish put in place during the colonial years. I recorded over the top of my previous recording on site because wind had knocked out the audio. America to be one of the most beautiful and ornate mansions for centuries, really. If you'd like to learn how I live internationally now for 11 years, spending less money than I would have at home, or how to make money online. Come get a free copy of my ebook. You can just click the link below this YouTube video, and at that webpage there'll be a link for the free ebook.
There are more than 60 varieties of avocados. We have 60 varieties. For example, this is bigger than this one. Different 60 varieties of avocado. This is either a cactus that we call tuna. Tuna is a fishing name, but here we call tuna. We prepare in the salad fruit. Lucuma is the orange you can lucuma. With milk is delicious also. Lucuma. It's delicious with fruit. This other fruit, guanabana, is very sweet.
Carambola.
Yes, carambola is very. You have contain a lot of vitamin C.
Guava bacay?
Yes, in Trujillo say guava.
Guava, yeah.
In Lima called pacay.
Papaya.
Yeah, this is cocona. It's from Peru. Cocona. This fruit, many people look to put in the blender with a piece of chili. It's delicious also, mixed with the chili.
This is it.
Yes, also.
Santo Domingo Church. So we just finished the tour of Old Town, and we're at the grocery store. Picking up some things for dinner. It's Chung Hoi's turn to cook tonight. As you can see, Peru may not be what you had in mind. This is the grocery store. What's in that olive?
Oh, chestnut.
Chestnut?
Yeah, it's,
Oh,
that's right.
I've never had that. Let's try it.